Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call this special City Commission meeting to order, 4:45, Thursday, July 18th, 2024. Short agenda. And go to our first item, 3.1, resolution number 149-24, establishing maximum millage rates for fiscal year 2024-2025 at 8.1308, not to exceed rate, which is 3.19% more than the rolled back rate of 7.8796. And debt service millage rate of 0.0633 for the fiscal year 2024-2025, and establishing the date for a public hearing on adoption of the budget for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Good evening, Commission President and Commissioners. Bridget Souffrant, Chief Financial Officer. As was just stated, we are here tonight to discuss our not-to-exceed millage rate, as well as establish the date for the first public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Resolution number 149-24 authorizes the mayor to sign the Department of Revenue forms that certify the city's operating not-to-exceed millage rate of 8.1308. which is 3.19% more than the rolled back rate of 7.8796, and sets the debt service millage rate of 0.0633 for fiscal year 2024-2025. From a procedural standpoint and a reminder to the Commission, the proposed not-to-exceed millage rate, if approved tonight, if the proposed millage rate approved tonight, it can be reduced at a future public hearing, but it cannot be increased if you vote as such this evening. Additionally, the resolution before you sets the first public hearing date for September 9th, 2024. The rolled back rate, as discussed, is the calculated rate that produces the same amount of operating tax revenue for fiscal year 2024-2025 as that which was available in the prior year, excluding new construction. The proposed fiscal year 2024-2025 budget keeps the operating millage rate at 8.1308, which is the same as last year. The debt service millage rate for fiscal year 2024-2025 decreased by 0.0065, bringing the debt service millage rate to 0.0633, which is an estimated reduction of $145,000 in tax revenue collected specifically for debt service. The debt service millage rate is calculated to cover the debt service payment on the 2021 Parks and General Obligation Bond, which for fiscal year 2024 is a total of $1,405,000. The proposed total operating and debt service not to exceed millage rate for fiscal year 2024-2025 is 8.1941. It is staff's recommendation that the resolution before you be approved with a not to exceed millage rate for fiscal year 2024-2025 of 8.1941. With that, are there any questions?
If I could just make a footnote, Ms. Souffrant, the 8.1308 is the current year's millage rate, not last year's.
You are correct. This is the world where I live between audit and budget. It is our current year, you are correct, which we are proposing to remain the same for the upcoming year.
I think that conversation just confused me a little bit. So 2024-25, 8.1308, and the proposed 8.1941.
The 8.1941 is the total of the operating and the debt service. So our operating millage rate of 8.1308 is the same as the present current fiscal year that we are in, and the same as what we are proposing in the upcoming 2024-2025 budget. And there's always been that debt service component then that is directly attributed to the amount of tax revenue that we need to cover the debt payment each year, which alters. So as we get deeper into the debt, those payments come down. Thus, you're seeing the debt millage come down slightly.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Warren.
Thank you. Just for clarification, the 8.1308 remains the same. The recommendation is for it to remain the same as the current millage rate.
Correct.
And that we're simply implementing, not simply, but we are we would have the opportunity at this point to implement a ceiling not to exceed 8.1941 for
Correct.
fiscal year 24-25.
You are correct.
Vice Johnson, did you want to say something? You look like you were.
No, I was just going to add a footnote that we have had debt service, millage, but we tend to focus on the operating millage because that's where we fund, the general operations, but that is not new. So I just wanted to footnote that.
Thank you. Commissioner Paducci?
Not to belabor the point, but just to be clear, so the debt service along with the operating millage rate that we are going to approve tonight as a ceiling, it does not exceed, them together does not exceed the current fiscal year's millage rate, the debt service plus the operating total.
Correct. It is actually a slight reduction, not from the operating side, but from the debt service side of that. I don't want to, there's too many sixes and threes. A slight reduction of the 0.0063. So the millage rate for the debt went down slightly. Operating stayed the same, so total, they both went down total slightly.
So the total that we're approving here tonight, assuming it gets approved, the ceiling is actually less than the total millage rate for the current fiscal year.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Comments? Thank you. All right. Well, if that's all, can I get a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 149-24 and set the first public hearing on the proposed budget for September 9th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, so I'm going to adjourn this meeting and then immediately call to order the, oh, do we have to wait until 5? Oh, okay.
Yes, you do.
All righty. Okay, then stay tuned. Adjournment. Channel 18. Oh, why do I keep saying WPB? Oh, well. Anywho, okay, I'm going to call this second special city commission meeting to order, Thursday, July 18th at 5 p.m. First item on the agenda, 3.1, public hearing on resolution number 14024, establishing the rates for the fire service assessment fee for fiscal year 2024-2025 and approving the assessment roll and setting the date for a public hearing on August 19th, 2024. Back again.
Back again. Good evening, Commission President, Commissioners Bridget Souffrant, Chief Financial Officer. Resolution number 14024 before you this evening establishes the rates for the fire service assessment fee for fiscal year 2024-2025 and approves the assessment roll and sets the date for the public hearing on August 19th, 2024. In 2008, the city adopted ordinance number 4141-08, creating the fire assessment fee. The fire assessment fee is a reoccurring special assessment that is brought forward annually. The fire assessment fee was created to assist in funding a portion of the fire services costs. The general fund and general property taxes cover the remainder of the fire services and all of the emergency medical services or EMS costs, which are not eligible under the fire assessment fee. The fire service assessment fee for 2024-2025 is proposed to remain unchanged and has remained the same since 2020. There are 5 property use categories that are charged the fire assessment fee: residential, commercial, industrial or warehouse, institutional, and nursing home. The residential fee is $100 per dwelling unit, while the other 4 categories have a fee per square foot. Again, all fire assessment service fees are proposed tonight to remain unchanged. Staff recommends approval of the resolution tonight establishing the fire service assessment fee for fiscal year 2024-2025 and directing staff to prepare the assessment roll and setting the August 19th, 2024 as the date for the public hearing and final approvals of the rates.
Move to approve resolution number 140-24 with no increases in the fire assessment fee.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Item 3.2, resolution number 14124, directing the development of the preliminary assessment roll for the chronic nuisance assessment for 2024 and setting the date for a public hearing for final adoption of the chronic nuisance assessment roll on August 19, 2024.
Good evening, Commission President and Commissioners. Avril Smith, Assistant Chief Financial Officer. In 2011, the City of West Palm Beach adopted a series of ordinances intended to change the way the city addresses chronic nuisance properties and chronic nuisance in general. The City Commission declared that all unpaid chronic nuisance service charges, unpaid code enforcement, reinspection assessment charges, or unpaid costs incurred for the abatement of code violations that remain delinquent as of June 1st shall become a special assessment against these properties as a non-ad valorem assessment equal in rank and dignity of a lien for ad valorem taxes. The approval of this resolution will direct the preparation of the preliminary assessment roll and set the date for public hearing of August 19, 2024. Staff respectfully requests approval of this resolution. Any questions?
Commissioner Warren?
I know that this is well intended to curb unwanted behavior. Are we sure that all of the nuisance and abatement issues and the matters that we addressed them, that there is a way that is that there's no disparities and no disproportionate activities in certain communities?
Let me speak to that. Then certainly the city attorney can add some footnotes as well. But, we have even code enforcement procedures here within the city. So there is no one single neighborhood that is singled out. In fact, we highly discourage that just for a number of reasons. So to the extent that, a neighborhood has code violations that are noted by code enforcement officers, then certainly, they are cited. But it's not set up whereby because, let's say, the statute of one neighborhood may be higher than another, that code enforcement officers turn a blind eye to any violations within that neighborhood. Now, relative to violations themselves, wherever they are found, the process by which a homeowner gets cited, whether or not they comply or don't comply, and then the next step going before the code enforcement board, all of that is standard procedure, irregardless of where the violation occurs.
I don't have a whole lot more to add, other than there's a lot of processes that happen, as the city administrator mentioned. In addition to the special magistrate proceeding, some of these chronic nuisance fees that are being referenced include things like boarding and securing of open nuisance properties, lot clearing. So in addition to the special magistrate ordering that these things be complied, the owners are provided bills for the services that were actually provided that the city paid for, and those go out and give them an opportunity to pay before they become delinquent and are included on the assessment roll. The only one that is not for a service to the property other than a physical service by a third-party contractor are those fees that the code enforcement officers have to go back out and re-inspect to make sure that the property remains in compliance and not a nuisance to the rest of the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Commissioner Paducci?
And I just wanted to clarify that chronic nuisance is different than public nuisance, in that chronic nuisance are things that are recurring that code enforcement deals with through a special magistrate, and public nuisance are criminal activity that occurs on properties that the nuisance abatement board deals with. Is that correct?
Yes, there is a separate program that's the nuisance abatement board that's under a different statute. It's a nuisance nonetheless, but a different procedure process, and there are not fees that are on this roll from that chronic nuisance nuisance abatement program by the nuisance abatement board. It's separate.
Thank you, and that's what I was going to confirm with you, that it does not include those which are independent from this. Thank you.
It does not.
Other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval of resolution number 141-24, and we'll schedule the public hearing for final adoption of the chronic nuisance assessment roll on August 19th, 2024.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Oh, and I call this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.